welcome to From the Helm series. My name is Grady Wolf, Market Analyst with Bell Direct, and I'm so honoured today to be joined by the Managing Director of Develop Global, Bill Beament. Bill, thank you so much for your time today. It's a really different company in the mining space to what we normally cover. Now, can you just explain Develop Global and how it's a unique hybrid nature mining style business?
Yeah, well look, there's not too many like that, Grady, so the only analogy I can give investors or people looking at this is we've got the same business model as MinRes, except we're underground and we'll only own future-facing transition energy metals. So it is a hybrid, it's mine ownership and underground mining services. It is a unique model, but it's been, I guess, something I've wanted to create for probably about 17, 18 years, going back on my DNA. I've been an underground contractor with Beament and then a mine owner through Northern Star, and piecing all the good and the bad, or take the bad out but keep the good. But what it enables me to do for shareholders is, in particular mining services, it enables the mining services to pay the bills, cover the, I guess the technical aspects and de-risking on the mine ownership. So I'm not going back to markets. So I'm probably a broker's worst friend at the moment.
A broker's worst friend, but an investor's best friend, hearing about and the sustainability of revenues that you have coming through. And it's one thing that attracted us to your company. Now, you've recently increased the Woodlawn resource by 40%. How significant is this and what does it mean for the company?
Look, it's massive, and we increased the tonnes by 40%, but the metal by 45%. In particular, copper and zinc went up quite a lot. So that was only with about probably about 8 or 9 months worth of drilling. So that is a huge increase. So what it's done, it's taken the mine life from effectively a 7-year mine plan to a plus 10-year mine plan, which is a huge result in such a small amount of drilling and short time. So what it shows is how big and fertile that geological system is. And I guess that's one of the key things of buying assets that we've done in the past in whether Develop or Northern Star is spotting that geological upside. Woodlawn's got that in spades.
And so talking about Woodlawn, since you acquired it, how has your opinion and your view of it changed over time?
Look, it's got a lot better because we haven't just been doing the drilling, we've also been doing a lot of de-risking capital development, tidying it up. I was there last week for a couple of days and it actually looks like a mine, feels like a mine. And we've literally got 2 years of production fully developed now. So we don't need to keep that activity going beyond this calendar year, so that's positive. But probably what surprised me is everything's brand new there, and to turn it back on is such little capital. But again, back to the geological system, every hole we put in, I think we drilled 85, 90 holes, we've hit mineralisation in every one. So, and you can't miss this stuff, it's a massive sulphide ore body, so you see it, it's going to go grade. So we've been pretty excited, even though it's taken the labs 8 to 10 weeks to get assays back. So just the size of that system and the quality infrastructure and how little it is to turn it back on, the leverage of that asset to a rebound in the world's economy, and in particular copper and zinc, is just, there's no better leverage on the ASX.
And copper and zinc are the words of this year, but lithium is still a word of this year. And you've recently moved into the lithium space via the acquisition of the Pioneer Dome asset in WA. What don't you do for one? And also, this is just, where is the deal up to and what benefits will it bring to the Develop brand?
Look, the deal's literally closing. Shares get issued today, and ESS shares cancelled tomorrow. So it's done and dusted. So no one can take it off me now.
Great.
So
we can breathe.
With the Game of Thrones that's happening in Western Australia, it's a great position. I think if we're a little bit later in that deal, we probably wouldn't have it. That's just my personal opinion. But look, it was the final commodity that we wanted to get exposure to, because the building blocks for the energy transition are really well known. It's copper, it's zinc, it's nickel, cobalt, lithium and rare earths. They're the building blocks. But when you talk about my skill set and the team of underground, really lithium, copper and zinc are our commodities. So it was the third leg of the stool I wanted. Look, we settled that deal. It's a great deposit. You'll see more of what we put out to the market in the coming 2, 3, 4 weeks. But it's probably going to be our first mine.
Wow. So what is the next steps in the Pioneer Dome acquisition? And how do you move forward into, obviously, production of lithium?
Yeah, look, the first step is just finishing off. We got a new scoping study out, so any investors watch that space coming out. We've been busy behind the scenes updating the scoping study to how we want to attack the asset. Previous owners were looking at open pit. Ours will be a mixture of open pit and underground, so we'll put a bit of colour on that and also update, I guess, the key assumptions with that. So we're pretty excited about where that's heading. On the ground though, there's stuff we have to do. So we just finished metallurgical test work drilling, so that's done. We've got 4 tonne of core. That's all getting prepped, cut, sampled, sent off to the labs to do met test work. That takes a period of time, probably 5-6 months to complete all that. Heritage surveys are pretty much all complete as of the end of last week, so nothing of note. So that was really good from the Naju down in that region, clearing all that. So they basically spent the last 3 or 4 weeks fully clearing the mine footprint. So that's very, very important in today's terms, and there's already a mining lease granted. So we're well advanced. So it's all about getting it into final form, submit our mining proposal closure plan to the department. We want to have it shovel ready by mid next year. So we, touch wood, hopefully are digging up dirt sometime next year.
So if you weren't busy enough with the digging up dirt and exploration and production, you have the mining services division, and you obviously have the contract with Bellevue Gold, who we spoke to earlier today. How many more contracts would you like to secure in the future of this kind, of the mining services division? Yeah,
look, we've been going to Bellevue now. I was just upside a week ago for 3 days, and I was just said to my crews, we've only been here 15 months,
wow.
And it's like there was nothing there when we rocked up. There was bare bones infrastructure, exploration camp. So credit to everyone involved in the team, and we shouldn't give too much away, but they're already hitting namecoat capacity in their mill. I saw that on the weekend, so that's great. But so look, that job's going amazing well. It's obviously at that junction point of getting it into full-scale production. So that's all, touch wood, is going very, very well. We don't want to be big in the mining services. We just want to be specialist boutique, work with really good people, good projects. And if you've got those two right, then people will come and work for you. You can have the best project in the world underground and give us the flashiest camp, and you can design it however you want. But unless you've got the right sort of people there that they're going to work for, the blue collar works won't come.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to be big. 2 or 3 mining contracts is what we've said. It's fair to say we're very busy behind the scenes looking at 2 in particular, and I think we'll maybe have some news on that in the coming week or 2. So again, we've been very selective in the jobs that we want to tackle, and you've got to build this up from scratch. When you're building culture and capability, it doesn't matter if it's mine ownership, mining services, you've got to be pragmatic. I could grow to the size of Beament and Beament in 3 years, but we'd all have a heart attack and we'll be having the same issues of 30% turnover. We've got 3% turnover as a company at the moment, which is extraordinary.
It's incredible.
Probably best in class. So we watch the space. We're pretty excited where the mining services go. It is a critical plank of our business the next 12, 18 months, because we get all that up and running, and we do become 10 foot tall and bulletproof in our mine ownership, because I guess my audience now really isn't the equity investor. It's the people that are strategics and debts that are going to help me bring my mine ownership online.
Absolutely.
So not being a snob about that, but I'm not raising equity.
Reality.
It's really my strategics moving forward and the debt providers.
Absolutely. And so with a mine, do you look to bring your own mining services division onto, say, the Pioneer Dome asset? Yeah,
correct. Look, that's a big chunk of the reason why we set mining services up. Our 3 mines, our 3 assets will be all underground. And there isn't very limited resources out there in the underground space. The Burncuts and Beament are amazing businesses, but their order book's huge, and their current operations, they've got so much work that a few of them have stopped tendering on different projects. So I didn't want to be at the mercy of those 2 organisations. Set it up, be small in the mining services and boutique, but then I can peel off and do my own mines and control my own destiny. And streamline costs, which is exactly, in this high cost environment, it's very important. So that's a very strategic move. So what does the next 12 months look like for Develop? It's going to be very busy. It's pretty much just finishing off all the technical heavy lifting on our assets. So we've done Sulphur Springs is wrapped in a technical bow now. We don't need to do anymore. Woodlawn is getting wrapped in its final technical bow in March quarter. So there's still a lot of another resource, another reserve, and more importantly, our final mine plan. So that's busy behind the scenes. Essential, again, just doing the approvals, getting the mine plan, all that, getting that ready to dig up dirt next year. So just tying all that up, and in particular, just growing our mining services incrementally. We've still got to ramp Bellevue up and keep going there. Hopefully start a new job or 2 in the new year, early in the new year. And that's really the focus, is just building probably the mining services a bit. The technical stuff is not people intensive. It's more, engineering, geology and metallurgy. We'll keep tuned and stay tuned for all the announcements to come with Develop Global. Bill Beament, thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed that episode of From the Helm as much as I did interviewing Bill today. If you did, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all commentary, analysis, and obviously CEO and MD interviews.